me get this angle so it's easier for you to see me. So you can rest your hands in your lap with your eyes closed. And with whatever you're arriving with in your heart or your body or your mind as you come to class, whatever that is, let there be enough space for it to be there. So kind of a non-resisting, non-rejecting, and even a warm welcome to what is. In the practice of yoga, there are many rituals in the larger tradition from which yoga comes. And sometimes the word we use for ritual is called yajna, Y-A-J-N-A. Sometimes the ritual is like a sacred fire. And we say that whatever you arrive at with your practice, whatever you show up with in your body, your mind, or your heart, you can put into the fire what is difficult and it will become transformed. Or you can place in the fire a prayer for transformation or understanding. And what we place into a fire is transformed by fire. It's one of the benefits of the Pitta dosha. It transforms things. So wood and fire transform the wood into light, smoke, eventually ashes. But on that fire also we can cook things, or we can burn something and transmute its energy. And so this in one way is how we could describe the practice of yoga, having a yajna, a ritual, and also the purpose of tapas, which is the fire of discipline, like to show up and to do your practice and to know that in you which is longing for transformation. In the spirit of transformation, please keep in mind that it's not coercion, it's not spiritual bypassing, it's not saying, how can I make this thing I have aversion towards, how can I make it what I want it to be? There's no sense of manipulation in it. You are making an offering to the fire, and it does with it what it will do. Let's begin a little bit deeper breathing. You could sense this fire power is in you. It's at the third chakra, the Pitta dosha, comprised of fire, the element at the third chakra, also comprised of water, the element at the second chakra. And that moves upwards to the fourth chakra, the element comprised of air, and to the fifth chakra, the atmosphere, ether, that which is lighter than air. The wood for the fire is at the first chakra, the element of earth. So a little bit deeper breathing and awareness of these elements, and also this opportunity for your life and your practice. You can join your hands together at your heart. One more deep and complete breath, and then we'll sing together. Let's begin. Om Bhurva Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na prachodayata. Om Bhuvasuvah Tatsavetorvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhuvasuvah Tatsavetorvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Take your hands out wide so they're not going to be constricting the torso. We're going to begin with Bastrika. So you'll have like a little sip of an inhale and then the powerful exhale from the solar plexus. We'll do about 20 or 30 times. And then we're going to exhale completely. We'll inhale to suspend and we'll exhale to release. Let's begin. Now inhale through the nose. And suspend the inhale at the top using all three bandhas. Exhale through your nose. Tone the low belly all the way to the end of your exhale. And then release all effort and let the inhale come to you. Imagine that which you're going to place in the fire for transformation. We'll begin again and we'll use Nadi Shodhana for the inhale suspensions. Let's start here. Now inhale through both nostrils and hold the inhale at the top with all three bandhas. Place your thumb at the right nostril, exhale left side only. A long, smooth exhale, then inhale left nostril only. Suspend the inhale for the length of the inhale, the inhale that you brought in, you suspend the inhale for the same length. using all three bandhas. And then you close the left nostril, exhale, right side only. Very brief pause at the end of this exhale, then inhale, right side. Suspending. Close the right, exhale, left. In a moment we'll do Kapalabhati, and you can consider again, what am I putting in the fire? These practices, Bastrika and Kapalabhati, they fan that fire. When we have inhale suspension, you can imagine the courage, the willingness, your earnestness in allowing that transformation. And the exhale is the surrender. We don't know how transformation unfolds. We can't predetermine it. Okay, so let's begin Kapalabhati. Exhale completely. Inhale both nostrils. Suspend the inhale at the top for the same length as your inhale. This is where you imagine the courage, the willingness, the fortitude that you have for what you've placed into the fire. Then you close the right nostril, exhale left side only, the practice of surrender. Then you're going to inhale left nostril only. Whatever the length of your inhale, you practice the suspension, equal length. Close the left nostril, exhale right side. Inhale right side. Suspend. Exhale left side only. Release your right hand to your lap. Same thing, excuse me, one more time, but without instructions, so we'll go in silence together. Let's begin. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, left nostril. And proceed at your own pace. Lengthen up through your spine, and then please cross your left hand to your right knee and twist to your right. When you're twisting, lift up through your heart. And exhale around to center. Cross your right hand to your left knee and twist to your left. Lift up through your heart. Notice the quality of the breath, having had the pranayama. And exhale to center. Acknowledging the transition, we're going to come up to standing. You can put aside what you don't need for your standing practice. So, for example, you don't need your blanket right now. But I would recommend you have your blocks nearby. And I'll get my camera just a moment. I have to find it in the list of cameras. Okay. Great. So what we're going to practice in Surya Namaskar is including some twisting this morning. So place your two blocks at the front of your mat. And let's come down into Uttanasana and place your fingertips on the blocks. Release the weight of your head. So inside, I'm going to ask you, you don't have to move that much, but I want you to sense your thoracic spine, that on the inhale, at the upper third of the breath, you bring the thoracic spine very gently into extension. And then on the exhale, focus on the deep tone of the low belly. You can imagine that tone in the belly is like a slow motion bellows to the fire of your willingness or courage. If you are high on the scale of determination in life anyway, I'm going to recommend that you use the fire for courage, for willingness, for lighting something up where you can see into the darkness. And don't work so much on determination. If that's already innate in you, you may have too much of it. Now place both hands on your blocks and step backwards to downward dog pose, supported by your blocks. So it's a little bit higher dog pose for your hips because your hands are elevated. Reach back a little further into your legs. So it should feel to you like your priority in your dog pose is getting your hips back towards the back hemisphere of the pose. I'm going to switch my view so I can see you guys better. Here we go. And in this dog pose, let's use the breath again to sense that for the inhalation, there's like a gentle thoracic spine back bend. And that the exhalation, you're really working on toning the belly and being very patient about that. It's one of the important things when you're developing courage or determination or willingness. Also bring patience with you. And then please inhale forward to plank pose. So you're going to be gazing down between your thumbs. And then gently exhale, glide your right knee up between your elbows. Maybe touch the inside of your right elbow, and then the inside of your left elbow. And then step back to plank pose. And then exhale, left knee up, inner left elbow, inner right elbow, and back to plank pose. And then back to downward facing dog pose. Then exhale, step forward with your more awkward foot, whichever one that is. Step forward with the second foot and come into Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Now, Surya Namaskar. Inhale, upward hands pose. And exhale, Anjali Mudra into Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward through your heart. Exhale, left toes back. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. So beautiful, good. Exhale, glide forward, arms wide. Inhale, left foot forward, heart forward. Exhale, bow towards your legs. Inhale, glide forward. Right toes back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, descend, taking your time. Yep. Very nice. Inhale, downward dog pose. Exhale, forward plank pose. Inhale, cat pose. And exhale, cow pose. We've been doing this transition quite a bit, so you're going to inhale, slide forward, seal pose. Exhale, glide forward, cobra pose, shoulders back. Inhale, roll up. Seal pose, also lift your chin. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog pose. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, rise. We're going to be adding a twist to the practice now. Exhale, arms wide and twist to your right. Inhale, glide up. Exhale, arms wide, twist to your right. Inhale, glide up. Good. Once more, exhale, arms wide, twist to your right. And last one, inhale to glide up. And let's exhale. We're going to return to touch the two blocks. Inhale, step backwards to downward dog pose. Exhale, left side. Inhale to rise. It's as if my floor is moving. Exhale, arms wide, twist to your left. Inhale, rise up. Good. Exhale, arms wide, twist to your left. Inhale to rise. Very nice. Thanks for going at your own pace. Exhale, twist one more time. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, we're going to be stepping forward to Uttanasana this time. So touch the two blocks. Inhale, right foot forward, heart forward. And then exhale for a deep bow towards your legs. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, so you might be getting a little bit warmer right now, so keep the breath smooth and your mind cool. We are using a little bit of fire in the practice, but we're not trying to be fiery. Uttanasana. Now inhale, glide forward through your heart. Step your left toes back to the basic lunge. Cross your left hand to your right block. You may put your arm to the outside of your right knee. And then inhale, twist up to your right. And exhale to release it, but keep your left arm positioned. Inhale to twist like a bird, taking the wing up to the sky. Exhale to release. Once more, inhale to twist. And then exhale, both hands to your blocks. Inhale, step backwards, downward dog pose. Exhale, left foot forward. So establish your left heel and your right toes. And then cross your right hand over. Inhale, twist to your left. Exhale to release it. We'll do it 3 times. Imagine the wingtip of a bird rising in the sky. The bird does not have big lungs. It is supported by the air underneath it. In other words, you don't have to suck the air in greatly here. Step back to dog pose. Sometimes when we're making bigger effort in some yoga poses, we make this big inhale, and that may not be indicated. Let's exhale forward to plank. Inhale to cat. Exhale to cow. Inhale, seal pose. Cobra. Seal. Lift your chin. Plank. Downward facing dog pose. And now step your awkward foot forward first. Then step the other foot forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your heart. Now we're going to take ourselves back to a practice that we were doing. We did it several times a couple of weeks ago. So this will include Anjaneyasana and Parsvottanasana. If you want padding for your knees, please put your blanket down. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Keep your breath consistent so the fire in the ritual is consistent. Left toes back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Now exhale, come down to your basic lunge and shake the inner body and the arms like cat pose. And then inhale, lower your left knee down. Exhale, strengthen the internal cat pose. Then inhale to rise. Anjaneyasana. And exhale to descend. Touch your fingers. So the cat pose should be strong. Let's see if we can find it again right there at the end of the exhale. Let's rise up again. Anjaneyasana. This is your in-breath. And let's try it again to make the cat pose. So what's really moving here is the spine, your torso, your heart, and your head. But the pelvis should feel very stable. One more exhale, cat pose internally. And then inhale, lift your back knee, take your hips back, Parsvottanasana. And exhale to bow over your legs using an internal cat pose. Inhale, glide forward like cow pose. Rise up to your fingertips. And exhale to bow towards your legs. Internal cat pose. Inhale, roll forward like a cow pose here in Parsvottanasana. Last one. Now inhale, glide forward. And let's see to what extent can we keep our balance here. So the back heel at the moment is lifted. And I'm going to recommend that you turn the back heel slightly in. So you have a tripod. You have your front foot, you have your back heel and your back toes, and then your left fingertips. And inhale, twist open to your right. And let the pose lean back slightly into your heart and your chest. So you're not actually using the torso to cross the midline right now. Keep the legs steady, but let the sail of the arms and your heart lean slightly back. And then exhale, and as you lower down, place your right fingertips and then both hands firmly. Step backwards to downward dog pose. And exhale, left foot forward. So same thing on the other side. Let's go inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Smoothly. Yeah, beautiful. Exhale. Coming forward. Try to keep the breath consistent. This is your cat pose spine. And then you're going to inhale to touch the right knee down. Almost like you have a parachute on the back body. Go slow. Exhale, press down to sweep your low belly in. Inhale, rise up to cat pose. Anjaneyasana, excuse me. Yeah, beautiful. And then using the exhale, come to the internal form of your cat pose again so that the low belly is toned. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to descend. You can imagine the quality of freedom in this rising and descending, but the inner quality of stability when you get to cat pose. Last one. When you touch the blocks this time, then use your inhale to straighten your back leg, glide your hips back. It's called Parsvottanasana. Exhale to bow towards your legs using a kind of cat pose inside. Inhale, raise up, glide your heart forward, take your gaze forward. Exhale to bow towards your legs. Inhale, glide forward. Now you still need the foundation to be a support and a strength. So there's this freedom for the torso, your breath, your heart, your mind. Last one, inhale to glide forward. And now what you can do is pivot your back heel slightly down and keeping your right fingers grounded. Inhale, twist open to your left. And let the pose lean back slightly as if you were catching the breeze, like a bird in the sky. As I was saying, birds don't have big lungs. They have big space, a lot of air through which they are soaring. Take the exhale and come down. Touch the two blocks, please, and step backwards to downward dog pose. Then inhale, glide forward to plank. Exhale, touch your knees down, cat. Reach back to child's pose. Take one block to place under your head. Put the other two, put both of your hands face up. And what you can do is imagine when you put the palms face up, it is a gesture of surrender. It's also in yoga called pranam, means to make an offering, a humble offering. So you could ask, for example, in the transformation that you're undertaking by practicing yoga, in that transformation, to what are you giving your life? To what are you offering your heart? And then please walk your hands back towards your knees. And we're going to use a series of twisting poses right now that you don't need your blocks for. And it's going to address the upper back, neck, and shoulders. I know some of you love this sequence, so we'll see how it is for everyone. Let's please come forward to table pose. And then what you're going to do, let me scoot this so I won't run into it. Okay, so the first twist in this case, we're going to take the left hand, step it forward of the right, turn to the back of your hand, and as you come down, you're going to place your left forearm, left elbow, maybe the left shoulder. It's not likely to reach the floor. Release the weight of your head, and use your right hand on the floor to twist your upper back to your right. So if you consider the place in front of you, directly in front of your head, to be noon, and your knees are at 6, you've reached your left hand towards what I'm going to call 11 a.m. Maybe it's 10:30. So that's the face of your clock. Your right hand is somewhere near 9 o'clock. And take a deep breath in. I'm going to ask you to press into your right hand, and as you come up, twist to your left. And then exhale, take your left arm under your right arm, keeping the right hand at 9 o'clock. Now you've got the back of the left arm also at about 9 o'clock. Put the back of your left hand, please, the back of your elbow, maybe the back of your shoulder to the floor. And this time, as you touch your head down, you're on the side of your head. Let's step the right toes back like plank pose for a moment, because it's going to give you greater ability to twist to your right. You may even find that you could gaze up towards the ceiling. And then begin lowering your right knee back down to the floor without giving up the twist you made by stepping your foot back. So some of you will find, oh, there's the left sideways, the left lower back, and that the right knee doesn't easily come to the floor. It has to be given permission. The permission is granted from your lower back. Now as you press down into your right hand, on your inhale, lift and twist to your left. And now you're going to bring the left arm under. What we're going to do, if that was noon, let's reach the left arm towards, I'm sorry, that was 9 o'clock. It's because they both start with the letter M, so my brain injury is like noon and 9. But now take your left arm towards 7 a.m. Step the right toes back, so you've got a lot more space for your twist. And then again, you're going to be able to turn your head towards the ceiling depending on your flexibility. And start bringing your right knee down. Your left arm is on this diagonal. The permission to bring your right knee down has to be granted from your mid-back and from your lower back. Then press into your right hand. And as you inhale, rise up and twist to your left. And now we're going to go under, and so the right hand will stay at about 9 o'clock. I'm saying it properly. The left arm's going to go back towards 6. So to do that, step your right foot back and reach your left arm down the length of your mat towards your right foot. And then you're going to be twisting under your right arm this time. That means that your gaze is going up towards the ceiling from underneath your right arm. And as you lower your right knee down, some of you will find that you could put your right knee on your left arm. Walk your right hand around your head. Encourage the twist of the upper back. And then walk your right hand back to 9 o'clock. Touch your right knee down and inhale, twist to your left. Okay, and let's sit back to kneeling for a moment. And I'd love for you to feel like, okay, what's different side to side? What's going on up here? You might feel a difference all the way up the back side of your body on the left side. Now take your 2 blocks and place them to the outside of your right thigh. And take your left hand to your right thigh, right hand to 1 block. Begin twisting to your right. And then place your left elbow on the block while keeping your hips steady. So this has to be granted from your mid and lower back. And keep the right hand strong against the block, because if you put your right elbow down, you may lose some of the leverage you have with your right hand and right shoulder. And see if you can come down to the back of your left forearm. So the left palm is face up. Again, in that gesture of, as your life is transformed by yoga, so what are you offering your heart? Press into your right hand and bring yourself back to center. You might feel like a little bit swimming inside. It's because you're shifting physiology here. Okay, let's do the sequence on the other side. So come to table pose, and you're going to take your right hand forward. So if this is noon up here, and I'll try to say noon and not 9, then over here is 1 or 2 p.m., and you're going to turn the back of your right hand down. You can rest your head on your upper arm and twist to your left. Breathe into the back hemisphere of your body. And then smile at the sort of unwinding process that we're doing. And press down through your left hand and do that firmly enough that you can straighten your left arm and the twist is already initiated before you raise your right wingtip to the sky. And now come under towards 3 p.m. So you're on the back of your right hand, the back of your right forearm, the back of your shoulder. And keeping your left hand where it was, which would be also near 3 p.m., twist to your left. You may decide to step your left foot back like plank pose because it's going to give you this chance to really rotate your upper back. And you might be gazing towards the ceiling or the sky if you're practicing outdoors. And then let the left knee come down slowly, slowly. And as your left knee lowers down, you may find that you have to grant permission again. This is my little phrase this morning, that your lower back has to grant that permission. And it may or may not make it to the floor. Now press into your left hand. Rise up for your twist to your right. Please recall what I said about determination earlier. Let's come down. You're going to reach the right hand towards 4 or 5 o'clock. Step your right foot back. And then as you're twisting to your left, gaze up towards the ceiling. And you're going to start lowering the left knee back to the floor. So what I was saying about determination is, if you have a lot of it already instinctively, it's already inbuilt, please don't use too much determination here. And really important, even though you're developing courage or willingness or dedication, we also have to have patience. Now press into your left hand. And again, inhale, make the left arm strong so the twist has already begun. And then raise your right wingtip to the sky. And now we're going to go to the deepest version of the twist. So what you're going to do is step your left toes back, reach your right arm towards 6 a.m. or 6, whatever you want to call it, a.m. or p.m. And you walk your left hand around your head. So you're gazing at the ceiling but looking from underneath your left arm. And then you can bring your left knee down slowly. And maybe your left knee will rest on your right arm. And some of you will find that you're actually holding your left ankle with your right hand. And then place your left hand where it's firmly supporting you and press down to twist, last time to your right. Notice the strength of the left arm. And then you come down and let's go to kneeling, and you can have your 2 blocks close by on your left. But just pause to recalibrate first. It's a lot. Yeah. You might feel a little bit swimmy inside. You can enjoy that. You're not driving right now. No driving under the influence. We're going to twist to the left. So place your left hand on the block. to your left. Bring your right hand across. Begin twisting. It's also a forward bend. And I'm going to ask you to keep the left arm strong. It doesn't have to be straight, but try to bring your right forearm, the back of your forearm, down towards the block. And do your best to keep your right hip stable on the right heel. So the right palm will be face up. As you're twisting, you can gaze past your left elbow or your left shoulder. And you could ask again, to what are you making your offering? As yoga transforms your life, to what are you making this offering? And press into your left hand, roll yourself back up to kneeling and check and see if you feel a little bit spinny, which again you might. So all of those practices combined with the twisting that we were just doing, you may have more internal, like you had to tone, release. And so the inner belly might be more ready right now for exhale suspension. So we're going to try that once or twice here in child's pose. So my recommendation is that you have a block for your head, if possible, a blanket folded or rolled for your knees, so they're going to be elevated. That means that your knees are higher than your feet are. And then come down to child's pose with your forearms, palms face up. Separate the knees so it's easier to breathe into the belly. And the practice and the process again is going to be that you inhale smoothly through the nose, smoothly and slowly. And then you're going to exhale also smoothly and slowly out through the nose, observing the tone of the low belly, which will also be the tone of your pelvic floor. At the end of your exhale, you relax the muscles that made the exhale, but you don't breathe in. Then you can add a pretend inhalation, which will deepen the internal suction called Uddiyana Bandha. You have to release that suction slowly, otherwise you'll be gasping for the inhale. So please try it twice at your own pace. You may need to have a little pause between the efforts, like a catch-up breath cycle. When you have finished 2 efforts at that, please walk yourself up and take the blanket, place it aside, lie on your back with your knees bent and your 2 blocks at the ready for your feet. And so when you place the blocks here for your feet, place them on the medium setting. Please make sure that they're stable. Put the arms, each upper arm tucking under. Pull your shoulders back towards the floor. And then as you press down firmly with your upper arms, elbows, forearms, and palms, please inhale, roll up to this version of bridge pose where you're higher because you've elevated your feet.
Now we're going to stay up in bridge pose. Some of you will find that you can further tuck the shoulders under. So observe the inhale. Be somewhat deliberate that your inhale goes from the pelvis to the mid-torso and then up into the heart. Observe the exhale slowly leaving from the low belly, increasing the tone of the exhale. And then raise both arms up towards the ceiling so that you can lower down one vertebrae at a time. Cross your arms over your chest. Roll your mid back down, and your lower back, and your sacrum. And let me describe the opportunity that you have here. The opportunity means an invitation. When we go up to bridge pose one more time, you have a pretty elevated bridge pose because your feet are higher. You can inhale, Ujjayi breath. You'll exhale, toning the belly, and then while you're up, you can practice one exhale suspension. You can do that either the brief beginning version where you've exhaled completely, and without inhaling, you just relax the belly and see what happens, or you can add to that step of making the pretend inhalation. So let's tuck the shoulders under. We'll inhale to go up. Without urgency, without impatience, you raise up in your bridge pose. When the structure feels stable, you can practice one time the full inhale, full exhale, and look to see what happens for you with exhale suspension. And you raise the arms, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, cross your arms over your chest, bring your mid back down, then your lower back, and then bring your knees up towards your chest, and you can place your hands behind the hamstrings. You can clasp your fingers there so you're able to hold in a really relaxed manner. Let both shoulders melt back towards the floor. Please do not overextend your neck right now so the chin doesn't poke up towards the ceiling at the moment. You don't have to glue it down to the chest, but resist the urge for the chin to lift like a Pez dispenser. And now this morning for Shavasana, I'm going to invite you to do this. Take one block for the shoulder blades on the flat setting, and one block for the head on the medium setting. If you still have your rolled blanket, you can put that under your knees. You want the shoulder blades to be positioned on the block so that you feel like you're laying both shoulder blades onto the flat part of the block. And take the arms out to the side. Let's do palms face up, and you can ask again this question. As yoga is transforming your life, to what are you giving? That which is transformed, what will you give it to? You can also ask the question, to what is your life dedicated? And how will you line up with that? How will you allow that to come through you? These are some of the questions you would be asking in yajna, in the rituals or the rites of yoga. What is being surrendered? What is being offered? In that transformation, how will you allow that to flow through your life? And right now, as you're resting, let those questions also rest in your heart. You don't get to predetermine the outcomes. This is a frustration for the Western mind, but it's also reality. Welcome yourself to deeply rest. We don't get to determine the outcome. We can practice trusting in the process, resting in the aftermath of effort, receiving the medicine and the wisdom of the practice. allowing yourself to rest. The transformation, the integration is continuing. You will rest for a few minutes more. You may just quietly, slightly deeper breath in. And 1 at a time, so you've got your feet up on your blanket. Take one arm overhead. If you're going to roll to your right, take the right arm overhead. And then you're going to roll downhill from the 2 blocks. And please bring your knees towards your chest. And use both hands. Come back up to sitting. When you come to sit, make it a comfortable seat, please. You can rest your hands out over your knees. I love seeing how many of you are practicing outdoors. Thank you for sharing your natural environment with us. Listen inside for where transformation is guiding your life. Not you. As I said last week, you are not the doer. This is taught to us in yoga, in the Bhagavad Gita. Join your hands together at your heart. And make the hands like a little flame in the center of the palms. They don't touch, so inside that center, there's where you place the offering to the fire. Om Asatoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirkamaya Mrityurma Amritam Kamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.
This is your morning practice today. Thank you, Renelle. Thanks for sharing the outdoors. I'm glad you can practice outside. How are you feeling? We all have different constitutions. You can see some are practicing outdoors with very little covering. And then, like Christina's covered with a blanket and she has a long sleeve shirt and she's probably drinking hot water or something hot in that thermos. We have a wide range for our constitutions. Respecting that is very important. I'm going to come up where I can see you better. Okay, let's get this so I can see you. I have to make a change. Sorry, I got confused. It's a part of having a brain injury. Confusion comes. Even though you see me practicing this maneuver for months now, I have moments. Okay, and how are you?